Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider another like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from Chaotic Pumpkins, who says, would I be the arsehole if I cut off my entire childhood friend group after they secretly planned a hen do and didn't invite me? I read it. I'm genuinely struggling with how to process this, and I'm torn between staying graceful or walking away for good. I've been part of a friendship group since I was 13. I'm nearly 33 now. There are 7 of us in total. While some are closer to each other than others, we've kept the group chat going for years. I've always seen them as my oldest and most meaningful friends, the kind you assume will be in your life forever. This weekend I opened Instagram and saw that 5 of the girls had gone on a long weekend hen do for one of the group's weddings. I had absolutely no idea it was happening. No invite, no heads up, no mention at all. The only other one not there has 2 kids, so I assumed she couldn't go, but I was simply excluded. The whole thing was planned behind my back. To be clear, I know I haven't been the most active in the group chat recently. I've been doing a PhD, and I even gave them a heads up a few years ago that I'd be less present for a while. But I still showed up when it mattered. I traveled across the country for everyone's 30th birthdays, and I've always backed them, even from a distance. What hurts the most isn't just missing the hen, it's the silence. Not one person said, hey, just so you know, or gave me a chance to understand. They just carried on like everything was normal. After finding out, I spoke to 2 of the girls, my closest friends. They were shocked I wasn't included and admitted they were confused by the bride's, Rachel's, decision. They told me there hadn't been any falling out or issue from me, and they were really upset to see how hurt I was. When I said I was thinking of leaving the group chat and cutting ties completely, unfollowing everyone, stepping back, they got really emotional and said they didn't want me to go, and that felt extreme. But honestly, I don't know if I can stay. I feel humiliated, like a spare part in a friendship I thought I was still a part of. The trust feels broken. Part of me wants to just walk away quietly, not to punish anyone, but to protect myself and give myself the dignity of closure. The other part of me is scared I look like the dramatic one or regret walking away from 20 years of history. So, would I be the arsehole if I cut them all off after this? Or should I just distance myself from the bride, since it sounds like she made the final decision? Slinky Malinky says, it sounds like you've not been around for a few years at this point. Your example of showing up was when everyone turned 30, and you are now almost 33. You also told them that you wouldn't be available for years. I don't see this as you being excluded so much as either the bride following what she thought you set up as the parameters. You weren't going to be around or available, or the bride matching your energy. You don't put anything in, don't expect others to. I had a very busy professional and personal times with school, work, kids, but I never told people, hey, count me out for years. That you did seems to be your choice, which is yours to make, but it seems like talking out of both sides of your mouth to make that choice and then act shocked and betrayed when the others respected your boundary. I'm guessing it's a big misunderstanding that can be resolved by a phone call. Not one to make the bride feel guilty or cause drama, but just to say, I saw you all went away, and I hope you all had a blast. I'm coming out of the weeds with school now and would love to join you all again going forward. Hope you responded to that saying, yes, this does sound like I said goodbye for a few years. So instead of seeing them every few months, it was more like twice a year. We're all based in different cities. I do take some responsibility for this, but I will say I think being excluded from this event is a step too far for me. But definitely doing some thinking to work on this. Thank you for your advice. I'm still thinking the bride knew that this would cause a huge problem, and I need to understand if this was with bad intent, cowardness, or some other reason. She was aware this could cause a problem. Maybe a group message is a good shout. Thank you. Strong Conclusion said it's not only the non-invite, but the fact that no one told you. You had to find out via social media. Are you invited to the wedding? Either way, I'd step back from everyone, even the 2 closest friends. Why didn't they tell you? Why keep it a secret? Opie says this is exactly the main struggle. They have openly said they knew I would be upset, but I think that's a big part why they couldn't tell me beforehand. I believe I'm invited to the wedding, but she's not sent the invites out yet. I've told the two of them that I need a bit of time away and they're still in my gut reaction phase. They have apologized a lot. One started crying when she thought I was cutting her off. So after this, I really don't want to do this with these two, but definitely have things to work on. Holding it up says, "What is this, the DOD? Didn't the innocent friends read the email or text numbers? Did anyone ask, hey, why isn't Susie coming?" You were justified in feeling terribly hurt. You would not be considered an asshole if you didn't want to continue the group relationship. Opie says, they did say that to each other, but never as a whole group. He felt bad about it, but they couldn't do much about it. Disastrous Gate says, bullshit. After 20 years of friendship, they couldn't do anything. Not even so much as to ask their other 20-year-long friend, bride, or host why. These are weak excuses of backboneless people, and I'm so sorry they treated you like this. I wouldn't feel like I want to be friends with people that treat me this way. Opie adds on, 1, I've reminded them over the past couple of years, but absolutely agree I should have been more communicative. I didn't go into the nitty-gritty in this post as I wanted to be brief. 2, for more context, after speaking to two of my friends, they were chatting about the fact that I wasn't invited for months before the event. I was very conscious and discussed a lot, but usually only between 2 or 3 people at a time, apparently. I asked them both the question, what do you think my reaction would be when I found this out? And they both said, absolutely devastated. More than anything, it's the fact that they didn't tell me or talk to the bride about the repercussions of this. And what I thought was a tight-knit group. Oh, and absolutely feeling a little low, as I'm in my final year, so taking that into account, but I also thought they may have taken it into account as well. Waiting a week to decide what to do here, but appreciate the direct comments. Thinking it may just be the bride I need to have a proper chat with, and possibly ending a friendship. And the first comment on this one, it had me thinking about it somewhat, but then I was thinking, nah, it could go both ways. OP did pull back somewhat, but was also showing up for 30th birthday celebrations, traveling across the country to do so, maintaining that contact, just showing that she didn't abandon the group. And I just failed to believe that in the planning of this, that OP didn't pop into the head once at all, and it could have been really solved with a, hey, we're planning this thing, but figured you might be too busy, or just something along those lines, or are you available, etc. And the telling part on this is that they knew OP would be, in quotes, absolutely devastated by being excluded. Or is it simply going to come down to one of those drifting friendships over time? But OP comes in with an update and says sorry for the slow reply. I've been away at a conference and needing a bit of space to think. I didn't expect the post to get so much attention, but I really appreciated the honest responses. It made me feel more justified in how hurt I felt. Since posting, I've spoken to a few people who know the group and situation well. Every single one of them was surprised and most were very clear. I should cut off the bride, and possibly the others too. Just to add some more context, I was a lot quieter about a year ago. I was doing my PhD and also going through a tough time in my personal life, dealing with some serious issues involving suicide and addiction. They all knew about this and had offered words of support. Over the last 6 months or so, I started chatting to them a bit more again. Things felt pretty normal. I had a phone call with the bride where she asked for wedding advice and we had a proper catch up. I saw 3 of the others from the group in person not long after. What makes this all harder to process is knowing that during those moments when we were catching up and everything seemed fine, they already knew about the hen weekend and didn't say a word. Since posting, I've quietly removed myself from the group chat and taken the bride off socials. She did message me saying she heard I was upset and was happy to chat, but to be honest, it felt more like damage control. If she wanted to talk honestly, there were plenty of chances to do that earlier. At this point, I've tried to understand why she would do this, and the only explanations I can land on are 1. She deliberately didn't want me there and didn't have the decency to be upfront about it. 2. She felt awkward and avoided the situation entirely. Or 3. She didn't realize how hurtful it would be. Though I find that hard to believe. Whatever the reason, it caused a rift with some of my most important friendships and put us all in an incredibly uncomfortable situation. This made it clear that this isn't the kind of friendship I want to keep in my life. 2 of the others still haven't acknowledged anything. I haven't removed them yet. I'm just keeping my distance and taking time to process. This whole thing has been a sharp wake-up call. I thought things were back on solid ground. Clearly, they weren't. Thanks again to everyone who took the time to comment. It really helped me get clear and act from a place that felt calm, not reactive. Lyndon says to OP on the back of that one, not the arsehole. You didn't have to cut them off completely, but maybe just quiet quit. Don't make any effort if you aren't getting reciprocal effort. Put the group on Do Not Disturb and only reply to text sent directly to you. Only answer calls, don't make them. Check in on yourself in a month. Are you happier than before? Are they making more of an effort to include you? Have any of the others even noticed you stepping back? OP responds saying, so after a bit of thinking, I've taken myself out of the group chat and don't think I can forgive the bride. I'm not making a big song and dance about it, but taking myself away from the situation and people involved. Those who want to remain in my life will let me know. One of the gals I spoke to has messaged me several times, organizing a catch-up for this weekend and is planning to come visit. These questions to ask myself are really helpful. Thank you. I feel like after this, there may be a couple of friends left from this group, but I've decided to focus on other friendships for the moment. At just random point as I was reading the update, there was a couple of lines that jumped out to me on this one. Now, as always, I don't know if I'm right in this at all. I'm just literally speculating on what I've read and what I'm feeling at this moment in time. But OP, when they added more context, they said they was a lot quieter a year ago. They was doing their PhD and also going through a tough time in their personal life, dealing with issues involving suicide and addiction. And whilst the type of addiction wasn't really mentioned, or at least I couldn't see it, it had me thinking along the lines of maybe they were thinking of not inviting her to the hen because of those issues. I'm not saying it's right, but because communication is always key in any situation, but maybe that was one of the reasons. Because some hen dos, not all obviously, involve alcohol and drinking and partying, etc. Don't know. Just throwing that one out there, but what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from Apprehensive Fix 3425 and says, am I the arsehole for not attending my daughter's gender reveal for her lizard? This is really stupid, but she's really upset about it. So my 48 daughter, 23, has a blue-tongued skink who she heavily adores. She jokingly refers to it as her daughter. I found it weird, but she says it's because it's the closest thing she'd have to a child, and she feels a strong emotional bond similar to a child. She has decided to remain child-free for multiple reasons, and I have been very supportive of this decision. Well, she recently got her skink to the vet for a checkup, and she was excited to find out her skink's gender. Afterwards, I got a text asking if I'd come to her gender reveal party she was having. She explained it was just a small get-together with cake and food for her friends that she hasn't seen in a while, with the gender reveal being mostly a joke, and a way to make fun of real gender reveals. Well, I didn't come. I didn't see a point. It's just a lizard and I'm a busy person. She later called me and expressed she was kind of sad I didn't come because it had been a while since I'd seen her, but she understood I was busy. I told her she couldn't actually expect me to come to a gender reveal for a lizard. She said that it wasn't a real gender reveal. It was more of a joke and it was just a small gathering to catch up with everyone. I told her if that was the case, she should have just called it a gathering because I'm not coming to a gender reveal unless it's for a real granddaughter. She got quiet for a minute and then turned my words around, claiming I wasn't supportive of her decision to be child-free. I told her she can't possibly expect me to treat a lizard as a granddaughter. She says she didn't expect me to, but it was clear I didn't respect her bond with a lizard and her decision, and she just wanted to see me and my reason for coming was hurtful. I told her she was being ridiculous over a lizard. She claimed it wasn't over the lizard, and it was a gathering, and not even centered around the lizard. But I stuck by to what I said. It's ridiculous to have a gender reveal for a lizard. She hung up and I got a message from her best friend about how I'm an arsehole for treating her that way. But I don't think I'm the arsehole for not wanting to go to a party for a lizard. Edit. In the time I was away I got many replies and it was a lot to read through. Let me clear a couple of things up. One, my issue is that she said the party was a gender reveal. If she had called it just a party, I would have come. But calling it a gender reveal makes it sound like it's for the lizard. And I'm not going to say that even if it's a joke. 2. I don't know why it matters, but the skink is a girl, which is why I said I'm not coming to a gender reveal unless it's for a real granddaughter. 3. Even though I don't agree with my daughter for being child-free. There's the issue. I have been supportive and only shown mild frustration. The reason she decided to be child-free is she claims she's asexual. She just doesn't want one. She has emotional baggage and feels unable to care for a real child. She fears pregnancy, and she has a carrier gene like me, and doesn't want to go through what I did. Had 4 miscarriages and a highly defect child that died after 3 months due to the gene. Yes, there's been slight tension between us because I think she just hasn't found the right man. She never dated growing up, and her other fears are unnecessarily exaggerated, but it's ultimately her decision and I don't resent her. 4. We haven't seen each other in 3 months. I'm a single mother and we have always been close, which is why she invited me with her friends. I just didn't want to go to a party with the lizard. And if it wasn't for the lizard, she should have called it a party instead of a gender reveal. Oh my bloody word. OP in this, at one moment she got quiet for a minute and then turned my words around, claiming I wasn't supportive. Bloody Burke. From someone who's been twisting her daughter's words around from the very beginning. You literally said, you added it in your post that the gender reveal is a joke basically, and it's just a small get together with some cake and food and friends who haven't seen each other in a while. That's all it was, but you keep turning it around to a gender reveal for a lizard. You claim that you're supportive of her being child-free, yet you also add straight afterwards, I've only shown mild frustration. You also say she claims she's asexual, but a commenter says, I think this is the issue right here. OP is stingy with love. Quotes, why should I love a stupid lizard? Then says, why can't you get interested in the things your kid likes and share her excitement and joy? Just the little things. No, she's never going to have kids, so you could have seen that adorable, quirky kid you raised to be as funny and sweet as she is, and gone to a party and mingled with her. Probably also quirky, funny, sweet friends and had a lovely time. But no, what a loss. How sad. Opie says, I will be honest, I don't have any particular feelings for the lizard. I think it looks like a snake and that freaks me out, and it is incapable of feeling emotion, so I don't know why she feels a bond with it. She even named it Ellie, a human name, so she can tell people, I have to get home to Ellie. So she can act like she's busy with a kid at home, which I believe is an unhealthy way to cope with her social anxiety. She should learn to get comfortable with saying no, instead of using a lizard as an excuse to neglect social obligations. Oh, God. My bloody word. But Maywen says, huge, you're the arsehole. At first I was like, okay, I get it. She jokes about it being for the lizard. Then I got to your updates. She claims she's asexual. You have totally invalidated your 23-year-old daughter who knows very well by now who the hell she is. Your following comment. I think she just hasn't found the right man. She never dated growing up. Hello? She was waving a huge flag there. She is asexual. If she came out as lesbian, would you say she's just not met the right man? Next, you invalidate her fears of going through the same heartbreak that you yourself went through, trying to have other kids from miscarriages to a child who passed after a so short life. Not everyone is as emotionally stunted as you, but they could speak of those situations so devoid of feeling. I'm actually tearing up thinking about what you went through and how in your small mind you wish your own surviving child would go through it as well just to pop out a kid. Get over yourself, mum. And yes, quotes, because you don't deserve that title any longer. Hope this shows your amazing asexual daughter that her life is 1,000 times better without you in it. Also, for your sake, OP, go get therapy. You need to reconnect with your emotions. OP says, I wouldn't say I invalidated it. She says she doesn't experience sexual or romantic attraction, nor has a want for it, which is only because she hasn't found the right person yet. It's impossible for someone to not feel such a natural feeling. Everyone feels it. It is a normal chemical in our body. I try to explain this to her. For some reason, she fears physical interaction with men. I think her fears probably stems from not having a father because he left when she was 3. Yes, it was hard on me. There were many tears, and it's partly why her father left. But that's what mothers do. She knows how important to me it is that I finally gave birth to a child that actually lived to grow up. And it does hurt when she wouldn't continue for me, and it does hurt she wouldn't continue for me when I went through that pain. That's why there's been tension for a decision, and I will admit I'm unhappy with the decision, but I've been as supportive as I can and haven't been mean about it. Commenter says, "You're the arsehole, that's your grand lizard." ETA, it was obviously not just about the gender reveal, and your daughter wanted to see you. Tomboy Barbie says, "So wait," in quotes. "Afterwards I got a text asking if I could come to a gender reveal party she was having. She explained it was a small get-together with cake, food for her friends she hasn't seen in a while, with the gender reveal being mostly a joke, and a way to make fun of real gender reveals." Then the commenter says, but 2 paragraphs later says, and quotes again, "I told her she couldn't actually expect me to come to a gender reveal for a lizard. She said it wasn't a real gender reveal. That was more of a joke, and it was just really small gathering to catch up with everyone. I told her if that was the case, she should have just called it a gathering because I'm not coming to a gender reveal unless it's for a real granddaughter." And then says, "You just told on yourself, OP. She already told you it was a joke and you refused to go out of spite because she won't have kids. Then you have the goal to fucking gaslight her. In fact, she told you twice that the party wasn't actually for the lizard. But to the very end of your post, you kept saying it was for the lizard." OP says she kept labeling it a gender reveal though. She brought a cake that says it's a girl and popped a pink sparkly glitter popper too, which I think is ridiculous. The lizard can't appreciate or love this. It can't even feel emotions. Oh god, how frustrating is this post? So after this, the daughter's best friend finds the post and replies and says, "You're the arsehole. And I'm surprised you had the gall to post this knowing she frequents Reddit. This is the best friend that texted you. You blocked my number and not that it matters. You know it wasn't about the reveal. It was an excuse to hold a party. We had fun without you. The lizard had an adorable tiny party hat. We had a cake that said it's a girl, and we popped a glittery sparkly party popper. It got all over the walls and ceilings and our friend John, and we started making jokes like call the EMS for John, and they do say gender reveals are dangerous. Who knew? But I'm sure she sent you the last video so you know what you missed out on. We made fun of it for the most part and blasted The Last of Us music since that's where Ellie's name comes from. Not because she wanted an excuse for her social anxiety. She struggled with her identity for years and you were never supportive. When she was trying to figure out if she was lesbian, you sat her down for 30 minutes and explained how it's normal to get feelings confused but people weren't meant to like the same gender. And it was probably just friendship feelings she was confusing. You're part of the reason she never explored her sexuality further with your sex is natural, and you can't have a relationship without sex comments, knowing not only is she mildly autistic and already struggles to understand and comprehend her emotions, but she's also a victim of negative experience. You know she has a codependency issue, and living by herself has been really difficult for her to overcome, and Ellie has helped immensely. She was upset you didn't come when she wanted to see you because she adores you and you didn't even call her for Thanksgiving. Then the friend also adds lizard tax because they know how Reddit is. And a commenter says after all this, "I once hosted a carpet warming party. It's like a housewarming party, but instead of getting a new house, I got 2 new carpets. It was just a silly joke excuse to have a party. Nobody complained and we all had a good time. I would definitely attend a gender reveal for a lizard. Also, I feel really sorry for the daughter who literally spells out that it's a joke, and that actually she misses OP and wants to see them more, only for OP to go, yeah, I get that you miss me and want to see me, but no." Pepperoni also says, in quotes, she has emotional baggage and feels unable to care for a real child, and then says, "Gee, I wonder where on earth that emotional baggage, especially about child rearing, could possibly have come from." Another commenter says, "Bro, I've attended a funeral party for a teapot that started to rust because I love my friends and it's nice to see them under any circumstances. I do not care what the theme is. If I care about you, I will show up for you, period. Yes, I will offer you condolences for your teapot. I don't care." This mum is so unsupportive of her daughter as a whole and in denial about it. She can't even defend herself without giving in to the urge to be further unsupportive in her comments. And that is the way I felt all the way through it. It just felt like there was such a lack of emotion from OP in this towards her daughter. How to destroy your relationship real fucking quickly. Like these commenters are saying, it doesn't matter the excuse for friends asking you to get together. A funeral for a teapot, a lizard gender reveal, you count me in. As long as you got cake, I'm coming. My friends, of course, not just for the cake. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. You bloody absolute cheeky so-and-so. Just look at yourself, you cheeky. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.